Want to take a look at the offensive side of the ball.
That's where it
Tobi
gets spicy.
Altizer, Lynell, Willingham in for the guys today. Want to take a look at the offensive side of the ball. Which one of these guys, or how many of these guys that are on expiring contracts need to be back? So I'm going to just go through a couple of names. You pick out which one you want. You got Marcus Mariota. You got Noah Brown, Zack Ertz, Corn Lucas, McNichols, De'Ami Brown, John Bates, Chris Rodriguez, Olamide Zaccheaus, Trent Scott. Which of those names intrigues you?
There is one clear answer. Seriously. There's one clear answer on that list because it's not a star-studded list. You can go without a lot of those guys, if I'm being real. That's why they're on one of your deals. You have to get John Bates signed. Do you know how important John Bates has been to this year?
Dude,
I know he had the fumble
against Dallas. He was so important
Dallas.
Against Dallas with that fumble.
I know he had the fumble against Dallas, but when you think about how well this offensive line is played, they're asking him to essentially be a damn tackle. And he's chipping. He's helping guys out. He's been tremendous all year long. He just can't hold on to the football against Dallas. I get it.
Well, I mean, he's essentially
he's the best blocking tight end in football is what they call him.
He's a blocking tight end,
and I see it.
And I have no issue with that because he's not going to get paid a lot.
Hey, somebody might show John Bates the bag.
No, they won't.
He would be I don't know when I say the bag, relatively speaking, but
for a blocking tight end.
For me, he's the guy that really needs to be re-signed on this offense. Because you can't. All the other guys are replaceable, I think, easily. I don't think you can just replace what John Bates has done here, especially this year.
So to me, the guys that stand out, there's really, I would say 3 that I would bring back. I understand your Bates point. He probably would be a 4th for me. Again, these guys are all replaceable. So if they don't keep them, there's no big deal.
I don't know that about Bates. You may have the best at that position blocking tight end. He may be the best blocking tight end in football.
So your point about Bates, fine. I would keep Mariota. I think that Mariota is a really good backup for what they're trying to do. You saw when he stepped in against Carolina. I'd try to keep Mariota. I would try to sign him to like a 2-year deal. Keep that guy around just as the backup if anything goes poorly. I think personally Hartman's sticking around for me as well, but probably just a practice squad guy as like the emergency quarterback.
Wait, what?
I think Hartman's a better football player. No, I think Hartman's a better football player than he is practice player. He looks terrible when he's running drills. When he actually goes and plays football, I think he's okay. But he also, I'm talking third string guy. Like he's nothing more than that.
Get your priorities in order.
I mean, they need someone to put on the front of their programs and stuff, right? Noah Brown, I would keep. Now, he can't be my wide receiver 2, but if he can be my wide receiver 3 or he can be a wide receiver 4, he's a heck of a blocker. And I think he can be a reliable option, but you've seen so far this year that when he's asked to be the number 2 receiver, he can't do that. But I would try to keep him around. I can't think he's commanding too much. The other guy is Cornelius Lucas. To me, he's a swing tackle.
33.
He'll
be 34 next year.
He's older, but I think he's a solid swing tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He can play both sides. I was so thankful, dude. So thankful. Andrew Wiley's out. Please don't put Trent Scott at right tackle.
Well, no, seriously.
Please.
And I hope OG Bobby Johnson, everybody over there in Ashburn's listening right now. I texted JP before the game started because JP kind of had like broke the news, I guess, when he showed the warm-up starters. I said, thank God.
Right.
I say it all the time during commercials, and I know people just think I'm some big fat tub of goo. Trent Scott couldn't block me. I swear to God, you give me 10 pass rushing reps versus Trent Scott, I'd win 6. 6 is a high number.
So Cornelius Lucas, I think, is someone I would prioritize bringing back. He's not going to get anything crazy. The one dude that I am done with on this list that has played a prominent role for this team, and I think we both are in agreement with this, tight end Zack Ertz. I appreciate your service.
Catch and fall himself.
I thank you for helping some of these young tight ends get understand the ropes of the business. I'm going to get somebody that catches the football and doesn't immediately fall.
So I'll say this to Zack Ertz's defense. Bear with me here. For a guy that, how old is Zack Ertz? The best trait about Zack Ertz at 34 years old, playing tight end in the NFL in this uniform, probably the swaggiest 34-year-old offensive tight end in the league. The double armbands. He goes visor at times. Soccer socks. I can say nothing positive about Zack Ertz. So now he competes his tail off in the run game.
Let me say this.
I'll give you that.
I think it was a smart move because one of the toughest positions to come in and immediately make an impact, and this is something that you see people talking about on Twitter. They're talking about it in the chat from time to time. People are calling in about it. Where's Ben Sinnott? Why isn't Sinnott out there? And look, we're all wondering that same question. But also, if you look historically around the league, wide receiver used to take 3 years, it felt like, to acclimate. Now it's a first-year thing. Quarterbacks are getting in there right away. Offensive linemen getting in there right away. The one position that seems to struggle acclimating because of what they're asked to do is the tight end position. It takes a little while. And Brock Bowers is kind of an anomaly. Like a Sam Laporta. Like, those guys are anomalies. You don't get tight ends that come in and immediately make that sort of an impact. For me, with Sinnott, what you did a really good job of is he doesn't have to make that impact. Next year, I need to see it.
The whole thing about Sinnott, I don't think Sinnott's a tight end an ideal, or he's like an H-back to me.
Well, that's what they drafted him as well. They use it.
I feel like he's more Kyle Juszczyk than he is.
Correct. Remember when they drafted him, Peters was like, I see a little Juszczyk and Kittle. So he's a little bit of both. I think he can give you some of that run after catch. I think he can give you a little bit in the block game.
Oh, he blocks they asked him to do a lot in the run
game.
So
to me, and that's why I don't have an issue with what Ertz has done for the season, why you brought him in. I'm glad they had him because it's a tough position to acclimate to the NFL when you're coming over as a college guy. But with that being said, I need a guy that when I throw him the football on a 4-yard drag doesn't fall down.
Yeah,
I need a guy that fights for some extra yardage at the tight end position of all positions because you're supposed to be the tough guy on the offense.
The one thing, and I make jokes about Ertz because the age thing is funny, and he tortured us for years. He does get separation.
Well, and that's
he pushes off.
He's a savvy vet.
Like, he hasn't been as bad as I'm making it seem. I'm like, you can just tell he's old.
But I think, as much as we talk about the leadership with Bobby, I think the leadership there in terms of,
I'm curious.
If you're Ben Sinnott in that room, I don't know that he's back for another year and talking about Zack Ertz. I would be picking his brain every single day. Like, hey, how'd you get that separation on that end? Yeah. How'd you find a way to get that cushion? When you're seeing this coverage, what are you looking at? Where do you find the soft spot? Because I think Ertz still does a good job of all that stuff. But respectfully, there's a reason why he wasn't the most sought after tight end on the market. It's because
was he Washington's first free agent signing this offseason?
Yeah,
technically he was literally the very.
He struggles. Jeff, you got anybody on the offensive side that you're like they got to bring back?
That they have to. I'm kind of on the agreement with y'all said is though we could do without him. I actually, if we could get more out of Zach, I would do it.
Interesting.
I would do it.
Could you go a whole nother year with Zack Ertz?
It would have to be
He's here strictly off the relationship too.
The other thing too is like
it would have to be a moving relationship. Like
it could be something too where if you brought back Zack Ertz, understanding he's going to be 35, that you brought back Zack Ertz to maybe still fill in early in the season, and then by the end of the year he's like a rotational tight end if you need him. But Sinnott's the guy.
I'll be real with you, and maybe I'm pulling this completely out of my wazoo. He just doesn't seem like the type of vet that will be okay being phased out. Zack Ertz got an ego about him. Brother called his 500th reception on Sunday. Like he's always been a starter on every team.
Well, I mean, if you want to have the ego, that's fine. But you can.
I just worry. Not saying that he wouldn't do it. I just would be like.
Also, I would keep C-Rod around too.
Yes. Chris Rodriguez.
We need someone.
You guys are in love with average.
Now
he ain't average, dog.
Average, dog.
Like, of course, he had that problem. He had that problem fumbling earlier in his career.
Yeah, Kentucky too. Yeah, that's why I was missed.
He's a power back, man.
But
power back.
I'll say he's
done well and played well.
But I say when B-Rob is not there, that's the only other back I see that pounds the ball consistently like that.
There's only above average trait as being a pass blocker. I think he's like pretty good pass pro too.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a solid running back. I like Chris Rodriguez.
Anybody could have ran to Max, how much you would have ran for Sunday? Max would have probably went for 2 bills Sunday. The holes were massive.
Well, I don't know if you caught this yesterday, but Logan Paulson said you couldn't run for 2 bills.
Well, that's because Logan, me and Logan have a little athletic back and forth going on because Logan tried to.
Because Logan was an NFL player and you most definitely were not.
Well, no, he tried to earhole me at training camp off some trying to show me what he was seeing. And big fella's big, man. You walk up on big fella, you realize big fella is a big.
There's certain people I don't mess with. I don't. Jeff's always messing with BMitch. I wouldn't mess with BMitch. I wouldn't be messing with Logan Paulson. There's certain people I just wouldn't be messing with.
Jeff,
well, one of these times I just want to see BMitch, one time just lose it a little bit on Jeff. I think that'd be a little bit fun.
You don't want to see that. It'll be a tornado in this office.